And welcome to the podcast, guys, with Rob and Nando. We're going to get into a new reaction video, but before we do so, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, like the video, and follow us along as we continue the road into the future of the podcast, guys. We have a lot coming up. We will let you know about what those specific things are that are coming up in the near future, but for now, let's get into today's video.
I genuinely think I've hit this point in, dating that my shits are out the window. I don't care. I'm not mean, but I think I might be getting bitter. And I don't want to be the bitter girl. Can someone please help these men and teach them lessons in proper etiquette and not to ask a woman what she brings to the table, or not to start the conversation without even asking her on a date and immediately bring up how good of a cuddler they are, or ask what kind of flowers she likes, and if you're feeling a little risky, get the address and give it to him and let him send you flowers. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's so fun. It's so fun out here. Freaking losing it. And I feel genuinely they know better, but instead it's just fun for them to be play dumb. They're playing the dumb girl bit. And that's our job. That's our job. I already, I don't even know what I'm trying to say now, because I'm just so flustered. I'm contemplating the year I was born in at this point. And I know I can't be the only one. And I'm not lowering my standards. So, you don't even have to be 6'5", or in finance, or have blue eyes. The trust fund does help, but come on, jeez Louise. You don't even have to be fit. You can have a dad bod. I will settle for dad bod. That is totally fine with me. I think that's cute. But come on. Can't do it. Can't do it. Sorry. Just can't.
I mean, really, ridiculous. Just ridiculous. It's incredible that throughout that whole clip, all I could think about was, wow, 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 complain, 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 bitch, 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 moan, moan, moan. And at one point, she said that she doesn't even know what she's saying. She's all flustered.
Most of the time, they don't know what they're saying. It's just emotions coming out, self-entitlement, complaining. Somebody wrote back to her in the comments and said, the men you want can get any girl. The men that want you, you don't want. And she wrote back to that guy and said, sounds like you're projecting. And, I think that guy hit it right on the head. And this is the paradox that these women live in. This is why you have so many single women that are pushing 35, 40 years old and they can't find a man. Because this is the paradox. They want men that can have just about... Look, the men that she wants could have 10 of her. She thinks she's special. She's not special. Once you go after successful men, a guy like that can have 5 of her in one weekend. You go to any major city in the U.S., anywhere in the world, and women like her are everywhere. They're at every club, lounge, you name it, right? But the men that want her, she would rather mop a beach than to be with a guy like that. She would rather chew on broken glass than to even give a guy like that a chance. And that's the paradox. She wants the best of everything. She said it in the video. She's not settling. Surprise, surprise. But a majority of men are not going to even stand a chance in her eyes. She's not even willing to even forget about it. So,
well, she's reaching for that limited amount of men, that small percentage of men, while there's so many beautiful, hot women out there. She isn't special. She's one of millions. And it's incredible the lack of respect for men at all. I mean, all the blame for men. She hasn't taken 1 ounce of accountability within that clip that she made. Not 1 ounce of even remorse, even that she did something wrong. And I mean, what can we say about that? What can we say about her not taking any responsibility, any accountability, and just blaming men?
It's completely expected. This is how modern women are. I read through a bunch of her comments, and a lot of guys just told her straight up the truth. They didn't sugarcoat it. They just told her how it is. And her responses were very like deflecting. Oh, maybe it's you. Sorry, you feel that way. What did she said? Sounds like you're projecting. So they have a very hard time grasping reality. And, women like this put themselves in this box. And that box is, high standards. I'm not settling. The man has to make a certain amount. She mentioned a trust fund, which I want to ask you in a second. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, what a trust fund is. And they box themselves out of the dating market. And this is what happens. And we've been saying this over and over again, that women that sit in their car and complain and play victim, they put themselves in that box and they're going to stay there and things are not going to get better for them. She mentioned a guy having a trust fund. Can you tell us what that is?
So it's pretty much where you hold property or assets, and it's kind of financial planning for a loved one. So she wants a trust fund. She's talking about a stranger, by the way. She hasn't even met the guy. Oh, set up a trust fund. Come on. Really? It's about money? I thought relationships were about love, caring for one another. It's not about that. It's all about me, what she wants, and all disregard for what a guy wants, for what men want. I mean, she won't even lower her standards. She's only thinking about herself. We can say that she's the one to blame for her failures in dating and relationships, or am I wrong?
100%. And you know why women like this mention things like trust funds? It's because they know in the back of their head there's a very high likely chance that the relationship is eventually not going to work out. They need like a backup plan. There's got to be some investment locked in for them. So because let's be real, it's not about the guy to them. It's about the financial gain. What are they going to get out of it? They could care less about the guy because they could replace him and, go back to dating. But the reason they mention things like trust funds is because they need to know that, like, if they get married, they get involved, they have a kid, and things don't work out. Boom, she's got that investment locked in. She's going to get her bag, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's an estate planning tool that's going to provide financial support for her. So it's pretty much money, protection financially that she's secure in the long run in case something happens. Of course, she's going to ask for a trust fund. What woman doesn't want money? I mean, that's mostly what they look for from men is money. I mean, that's pretty much the top.
Yep.
All about me, how much money I can make, what can I get from this guy. How many guys out there watching this video right now have a woman ask them probably one of the first 2-3 questions when they're getting to know each other is, what do you do for work?
Yep.
Or am I wrong?
And you bring up a good point because she goes, can somebody please teach these men? And she mentions like that she doesn't want a man to go on a first date and mention cuddling, things like that. Yet, I think it's women that need to be taught because it's women that completely ruin the first date for the guy by like, it's red flags galore. Like she's gonna ask you where you work, how much do you make, what's your plans for the future. Like they're trying to figure everything out on that first date. I think it's women that need to be taught how to like chill out a little bit and not make it such a big thing in the first date.
She mentioned that she doesn't care, that she's bitter. If she turned her attitude more positively, if she actually gave a shit, would she have more success?
She could have more success, and look, she could end up with the guy that she's looking for, but it's going to take a different attitude from her. She needs to realize. She said that she doesn't like it when men ask her what she brings to the table. Even if he doesn't ask you what you bring to the table, you should be prepared to know what you will bring to the table, because a relationship is a two-way street. You're aiming for a high-end successful guy, I'm imagining. You better know what you're bringing to the table, because like I said, guys like that can have 10 of her in a weekend. She's not special. She might be special to an average guy because, you know, a normal guy might look at her and be like, wow, she's hot, she looks good. But once you're talking about successful men, she mentioned a guy 6'5", she's not special. If you line her up in Miami, she's not going to stick out. She's going to blend right in with every other, like, broad that, like, you know.
She's going to be one of the thousands of women down there that are looking for a guy.
Exactly. And, you know, this is just another example of that self-entitled attitude. It's high expectation from the female side. She doesn't, in her mind, believe she has to bring anything to the table. I think this is an example of women that think that, like, their looks are good enough to get them through the door. Like, they don't really have to do anything else. They just have to kind of, like, look good and show up. And boom, where's my gifts? Where's my dates? Where's my dinners? Where's my vacations? Where's my successful man? Not going to work. That's not going to work.
They're pretty much saying, I'm here, I'm out, I see all the men, I exist, give me, give me, give me. She's talking about how men need help on learning proper etiquette. Proper etiquette is being polite. Did she show any sort of politeness based on what she said
Correct.
in that video?
Correct. She didn't show any politeness, and all I really saw was complaining and self-entitlement. That's basically what I saw in the video. And you know something? That video was only like 2 minutes long. After listening to her for 2 minutes, I have enough of her already. I wouldn't want to date her or deal with her or be around her, because, you know, you listen to women like that, and just listening to her for 2 minutes tells you everything you need to know, like what kind of person she is and what you're going to have to deal with on a daily basis. And this is the same woman that's has high standards and, you know, high expectations and expects that a guy's just going to kind of, like, you know, put in 100% of the effort. It's crazy. It's delusional. And another thing that's going to happen, and like we've said in our last video, why do you see so many women now sitting in their cars complaining? Because you know what? What's also happening is more and more men are stepping back. More, like, you know, men learn the hard way that, like, being good to these women, and, you know, you can't offer too much value up front because they'll take advantage of it. That's what women do. You offer too much up front and women are going to take advantage of it. And I believe that women like this, even if she were to find a man that gave her everything she wanted, she would still find a way to complain.
And this is big because a lot of women have this going on. The full face of makeup, the lip injections, and what seemed to be very likely the fake boobs. Is a woman of that nature going to attract a man like that wants fake? Do men want fake?
No, and you know something? I didn't really like look into her profile, like what she does, but this is a woman to me that seems like she should just stick to doing like her social media influencing, making OnlyFans, you know, get your bag, get your quick, easy money, and just stick to that, because I don't think she has the right mindset, the right strategy, and the right approach, the right positive attitude to date and to land a man of whatever caliber she's looking for. She just doesn't have it. What she has is decent looks. I'll give her that. She still seems young enough where she could pull it off, but she doesn't have the right attitude or mindset. I think she's self-entitled. Many women nowadays are. And like we've said before, the better they look, the harder they are to deal with.
So she needs a lesson on how to treat men. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. I think she does, and I think a lot of women need to kind of like step out of that box and like face reality. Because look, if so many women are sitting there complaining that guys aren't doing XYZ, see, she's not talking to all men. She's not talking that she doesn't want Joe Schmo to take her on a date and buy her chocolates, and she doesn't want that. She's talking to the men that she can't grasp. Okay, I'm sure guys hit on her all the time. I'm sure she gets offered to get taken on dates every week. She's not talking to those guys. She's talking to the men that she just can't. You know what I mean?
That's those top guys. Those top guys that are confident, that are relentless, that are leaders.
She wants the guy in the suit with the Patek Philippe, you know, with a cigar, pulling up in a Maserati. She wants that guy, and surprise, my dear,
nice.
It's not so easy.
Nice hairstyle, dresses good, goes to the gym, just shitting money out of thin air. That's what they want. Is this type of woman a lesson that other women should take of what a woman should not be, how a woman should not act.
100%. Look, women should just like watch every video of these women sitting in a car complaining. They all say the same thing. It doesn't matter what part of the world these women that sit in a car and just complain about anything, they all say the same thing. And the answer is hidden in plain sight. It's to me, it's pretty obvious what she has to do. I think she knows what she has to do, but she said in the video, they always say it when they complain. They're like, but I'm not settling. Dating's difficult. I can't get the guy I want, but I'm not settling. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you may have to.
She just had no clue what she was saying throughout.
She said it at the end. She's like, I don't even know what I'm saying myself.
Yeah, she said she was all flustered. She doesn't know what she's saying. She doesn't care anymore, she said at one point. And it goes to show that all the words that she spewed out, all those criticism, why should anybody listen to them? Why should anybody pay attention to them? A lot of women are saying these things, but they're saying them out of emotion because they're pissed off that their dating or relationship situations haven't worked out. And now they want to come online and just bash guys. And ladies, this is an example of what not to be. If you want to attract a man, even an above average man, you might not be able to get one of the best guys up there because, of course, there's no perfect person, no perfect man or woman. Nobody's 100% foolproof. However, there are great men out there. And there are above average men out there. And you can get them if you don't act like this. If you don't see, most of the guys run away from women is just because of this type of attitude. This is a shit attitude, a shit mentality. And it's all about what can be provided to them. It's all about what you can get from a man. How about what you can give to a man? Right?
Yes. And I was going to say, I think what these women need to learn to do is to talk less and to start focusing on doing more. Talk less, because how many times does it happen where a woman is physically attractive externally? You see her, she's attractive, but the moment they open their flapper, it kills everything. The moment they start yapping those lips, you're like, oh, shit, like, please stop talking. And this is an example of it. She's physically attractive. I'll give her that. She's not a 40-year-old, 50-year-old woman. She's young. She's attractive. I don't believe that she should have a hard time attracting men, but something's off there. I think she's just too self-entitled. She's putting focus on what she wants and what she feels she deserves and what she's not getting, but I doubt she's really internalizing what she needs to do to get it.
And she's also, as you said, not lowering her standards, right? She's not lowering the standards to the point where, she doesn't need a guy that's 6'5", but she might want a guy that's 6'4". Or she doesn't need a guy in finance, like she said, but she may want a guy that works in real estate or invests in commercial real estate or is an executive at a top company. Where is she getting this from? It's just crazy. And this is what's going to hinder her success moving forward. That mentality, many women have this mentality, which is a scary thing, which is why women with this type of mentality are going to have a high failure rate when it comes to dating and relationships.
You see, women think that men are shallow, that we only care about looks. I hear that all the time, and that is simply not true. Looks are important, 100%. I admit that it's important, but it's not everything. Looks will get you in through the door, but it's all about how they act, how they treat you, their mentality. She just seems like a self-entitled brat.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before I get into the next question, which is going to be pretty funny, I think. Guys, subscribe to the channel. We are giving some harsh criticisms to these women that are self-entitled, that are gaslighting the men out there. And we're really breaking this down for you as best we can. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have so much more to come in the near future, and we want you to be a part of it. We want the people that that should be listening to this to be a part of it. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. We are on the Podcast Guys _ on Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, and the Podcast Guys 5 on X. So the question that I wanted to ask you, she said that men should be risky. They should take the risk and send a girl flowers. Ask her for her address. I don't know why she would give her address out to a person that she doesn't know right away. Should a man send flowers to a stranger, to someone he doesn't know?
You know something? I have a great idea, guys. Let's spend, you know how much flowers cost nowadays for like a dozen roses to get it shipped and everything? You're looking at like $80 to $100 on the cheap end. Yeah, sure. Let's just spend $100 and just send women flowers because, you know, it's a nice gesture. She had in her mind, look, flowers, gifts, investing time, money, you do that to a woman that you're getting something from. And this is what these women need to realize. They expect the value straight up front in return for doing nothing. Boom. That's the problem. They think that they're just going to get these things. You could have flowers and all these things. Sure, but you got to do something for it. You have to earn it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't given anything back to a guy. She hasn't even had a thorough, in-depth conversation, a deep conversation to get to know this person. And she wants a guy to take the risk and send her flowers. I think that's just plain ridiculous.
I don't think women understand, like, especially nowadays, like, if you're a man dating, you're going to be going through connections on Tinder and Bumble, and it's going to take a while before you land on somebody, right, that you may work out with. You can't be sending these broads all flowers, $80, $100 plus dinner and everything. It's crazy, but they don't see it that way, you know. They think the guy's being cheap.
And you know the stupid thing is that there are men that will say, "Oh, she's beautiful, she's hot, this and that," and they'll send her flowers.
Yes.
And you guys that are doing that are simps.
Yep.
Again, we rip on the women, but we're ripping on you guys as well. Men, you have to stop being simps. You're a simp if you send her flowers or you give her something and she doesn't give you anything in return. You don't get anything back for that. Oh, you just sent her flowers? Great. How are you going to feel in about a couple of days or a week or a month when you don't hear from her ever at all?
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense. No.
You could send flowers to your mom. You could send flowers to your grandmother. You can't send some random broads flowers or spend money on them. And I guarantee you there's guys watching this that have done it, and you get nothing from it.
Well, that's the problem, that guys are giving these women flowers, chocolates, money. I mean, that's what's keeping them in this momentum of this absolutely horrible attitude that they continually have. And it's never ending. It's not going to cease to exist until men stop. And men have to come together as a collective, individually, make sure that they don't simp to these women. If you're getting something back from a woman, you're dating a woman, you're talking to a woman, you're dating a woman, you're in a relationship with a woman, you're getting something in return from her. You know, it could be anything. Anything at all. Then that's fine. But if you're not, you're simping.
Whenever women get free value up front without having to do anything in exchange for it, that's where this self-entitlement comes from. This woman probably is used to getting certain things for free attention, for example, without having to do anything for it. So you're right, because it makes the problem worse. I think guys have to really back off. Look, let them sit there and be frustrated. Screw them. Let them sit there and like be confused as to why things aren't working out. You heard what she said? She's like, "Oh well, guys are playing like the confused one. That's women that are supposed to do that." No, my dear, guys aren't confused. Guys are just backing off from this bullshit because it's a one big headache and a waste of time and money, and the whole thing is just it's a waste. Guys are backing away from this shit. The traditional women have ruined traditional men. Men aren't going to be traditional anymore because the men that have tried to be traditional have learned the hard way that it does not work.
Big time. They're running away from all this attitude, all this crap. Maybe you should lower your standards. I mean, she's making a pretty big mistake by not lowering her standards to something more realistic.
Yeah, because she's going to end up with nothing. And look, for the women that don't want to lower their standards, women that are 35, 40 years old, and they still keep that high standard. at very least, if you're going to keep the high standard, you better completely take a different approach to what you've been doing the past 10 years, because it's not going to work. It didn't work the last 10 years. You think it's going to work as you get older? So if you're for any woman that's going to keep a standard that high, you better figure out how the hell you're going to change up your game.
I mean, if she is more caring, do you think that would work? If women were more caring towards men,
Yeah.
do you think they would easily get some action?
I know women hate hearing it, but like if they were to talk less, be quieter, be more nurturing, be more feminine, that would do wonders for them, I think. They should talk less.
Oh yeah. Too much yapping and not enough.
Too much yapping.
Not enough accountability, self accountability. Too much self entitlement. Too much BS, and women have to cut it out.
I didn't look at her social media, but that's another thing too. They need to take into mind how they're advertising themselves. Because if you want a high value guy and you're advertising yourself all over Instagram, you have all the dating sites, sugar sites, it's not going to work. The guy's going to find out. He's going to see that, and he's not going to say anything to you. He's just going to back off. He's gonna be like, that's what guys do. They read the same way that women read guys. They try to figure out how much he makes, and like, does he come from a rich family, a poor family? How much does he make? What's his future like? Men also look at a woman's Instagram and go, oh, she's a bimbo. Okay, I get it. No thanks.
Yeah, because she's putting herself out there for everybody. So if you are a woman putting yourself out there for everybody, you're not going to secure that one top guy that you're trying to get.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult to secure. And speaking of that top guy, she mentioned dad bods. Sometimes there are guys that are really well off and they're one of the top, but some of them have dad bods. Do women really like dad bods?
No, that's BS.
When she said that she likes dad bods,
Stop the cap.
If she showed us a list of the last 5 guys she slept with, I guarantee you none of them have dad bods. I think the only exception is like, I think women will sleep with guys that have dad bods if they're like really wealthy. Like I could see some big guy with a big belly and a hairy stomach, like some Russian millionaire. They could probably pull that off. But for most guys, they don't want the dad bods.
there was a survey of 100 women, and they were asked if they prefer dad bods. 50% of them were indifferent. 15% date men with dad bods, and 38% of women want men to be in tip-top shape. To me, the ones that are indifferent are mostly leaning towards men that are fit.
Yeah, and especially, look, you see it all over Instagram. Attractive women nowadays are really big into working out and dieting. They're not going for guys with big bellies. You go to a place like Miami, I guarantee you those women, you should see the women running around over there. They jog, they do CrossFit and all this stuff. They're not dating a fat guy with a big stomach. No way.
And lastly, before we wrap up shortly, with all the complaints that she made, she said she was flustered and she didn't know what she was saying for the most part. So should any man take any of this shit seriously?
No. You need like a translator to translate her womanese what the hell she's even trying to say. I think we get the gist of it. She's complaining. She's frustrated. She can't land a high-value guy. And most likely she will not land a high-value guy because in the gist of things, she's not special.
Hopefully this is a lesson to men, not to simp to women, because men continuously simp over and over and over again. And it seems like they're not hit hard enough where they eventually stop. Stop doing it for the sake of your sanity, for the sake of your future dating and relationship opportunities. And women, don't act like this woman here in this video, because you will not get any guy to want to date you or take you seriously whatsoever.
We're overdue for a major market correction in dating. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.
Subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time. Peace.